You ain't never seen a man turn leg gold with his hands. You ain't never seen a man get a queen wet with a glance. Water turn wine, whole wide world mine in my mind. In and out of time, my light shine bright for the blind. Something about the way I do it. 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 Said I'm gonna be a millionaire soon, but I already knew it. I'ma that the bullets fluid. All this winning therapeutic. Something about the way I do it. Something about the way I do it. They be trying to drain my energy up with the battery is not included. Women trying to be recruited. Let them do it, then I bought it. What is cute, then she folded. Something about the way I do it. I remember playing ring around the rosy. Now I got a pocket full of OZs. Water dollars, wallet full of old cheese. Got a Glock, a cock and pop a police. Block a boom, shaka lock a bada shot him while he rock a rosary. Got your mama watching out the nose, please. Sloppy toppy.
Peace, family. Welcome to another episode of Underground Railroad Productions. This is your host, Brother Rich. And by now, y'all know the sister on our left, Zakia. An amazing presentation y'all seen from the sister in the previous video. And of course, y'all aware of Queen of Four on the right. Yeah. Welcome back to the platform, Queens. By now, everybody has seen, I think it's approaching 1 billion globally, Black Panther, the movie Black Panther.
Yeah.
And for those who aren't into like African culture and they're just used to traditional religion, they're not very aware of the concept of ancestor worship. And it sounds kind of scary to a lot of our people who are Christians or who are just used to the traditional, I pray to a God, I pray to Allah, I pray to Jesus, I pray to Buddha, or I pray to or whoever their God may be. So I just want to touch real quick, do a video with the Queens on the idea of ancestor worship. Why would I go? I guess I'll start out like this. Why would I go and pray to my ancestor when I could go straight and pray straight to God? For those who are Christians who may have that question, why would I pray to my ancestors?
Well, we have always prayed. We are praying people. We are connected to the source, which you call God, Olodumare, Jah, Inter, Jehovah. But we also, when our elders are elders before they become ancestors, they pray for us. Mm-hmm. We go to our grandmothers, we go to our grandfathers, we go to our uncles, we go to the elders and we say, I'm going through some trauma. Mm-hmm. I'm in a state of turbulence. Mm-hmm. I'm breaking down. Will you pray for me? Yeah. Will you put your hands on me? Mm-hmm. Will you lift me up? Will you say a word that will help me to open the way? Mm-hmm. That's how we've always done. We've always gone to our elders, even if we're going prostrating down because life has hit us that heavy. Mm-hmm. We do not stop honoring our elders when they make the transition from an elder to an ancestor, because we know that we never die. Right. Our ancestors we leave the room, maybe, we drop the flesh, but we still alive. That's why they call it the afterlife. Right. There is a life after the flesh. Yeah. And so just as we spoke to our elders, now we'll speak to our ancestors who are now in a very high spiritual place, who no longer have the material issues in the world. And we will go to them as we would go to them in the flesh and say, help me, open the way. I cannot see. Not negating the most supreme high, because we know that the supreme is inside of our ancestors. The supreme is inside of our elders. And we're on a physical level, we go to them to get answers, to be delivered, to help us to overcome. The fact that we're saying that we're afraid of ourselves, our culture, this is our culture. And what people without a culture is like a people without trees. I mean, with roots to a tree. If you have no roots, you have no life. Acknowledging, lifting up, and going to our ancestors is acknowledging our culture, our heritage. And because of that, we're on the shoulders of our ancestors. And we can remember the gifts that they have given to us and the knowledge while in their body, and we can grow. So we must begin to, and I believe that we are, because the fact that you just said there's about 1 billion of us looking at this from all the different spiritual houses, it's pulling us in. That's how much we need to acknowledge our ancestors. So we give thanks, to even share this at this moment, that is a concern that we must overcome.
Indeed, indeed. Yeah. Would you like to add on?
I would love to add, even though Queen has expressed, just hit the nail on the head with just the concept of veneration, what it means to venerate our ancestors and paying homage, because it's the wisdom. It's the wisdom of our elders, and that we don't have, which is why they're our elders, because they've walked the journey longer than us, have seen things, been through things that possibly we wouldn't have to go through. And so our ancestors, once you transition into that next realm, there's still that wisdom, even more so, on a more prolific level of information from both realms now, that can help and guide you and allow you to have all the tools necessary to go out into this world and be your greatest self. So in honoring, yes, I have an ancestral altar. I'm of many traditions, Yoruba, Akan, where there's plenty of venerating, Rasta culture, and we're all of that. You know, the inter is an encapsulation of all of those essences, the deities, all of those things, and importance of lifting them up is because once your name is expressed, that person lives on. But if we do not say the names of our ancestors, they die.
And
That's
then we die. You know,
and then we die as well,
because
essentially.
we need what they gave to us.
Exactly.
And if you have to start from scratch, you really start from the bottom.
Yes.
Every time an ancestor comes and they become the ancestor, if we study them, then we'll have all the full knowledge.
Yep.
If we acknowledge them, then we'll have the full knowledge. And then we are able to now elevate as a people. So.
Yeah.
I'm just co-signing with you totally.
Yes, absolutely. And this is such a phenomenal conversation because the movie Black Panther, you know, it was clear as day. And I know there was an uncomfortability with some of our people.
Right.
Because it's like, oh, you're not saying God, you're not saying certain names that they know of. And it's like, okay, you're taking, you know, this shamanic medicine and now being able to operate on another plane to actually communicate with your ancestors. That was such a prolific idea because you need the wisdom of your ancestors and we are standing on their shoulders. And so it's up to the next generation to take it even further, as the proverb says, to take it even further than the last. So what our parents did, our great-grandparents and all of those generations back, it's up to us now to keep toiling and building those bricks so that when we leave, at least there's another layer of brick there that we have to build upon. And so that's what I thought was so amazing about that Black Panther movie, showing that this is us, this is Africa. Africa is within us, God is within us, Olodumare, all the names, but it's in us. So when you drunk that, the herb, and it goes back, it was just
back to nature.
Back to nature. And nature is another, you know, people say, oh, you're honoring nature or you're praising, you know, the waters and the trees. We have to do that because that's all God. That's all us. It's a reflection. And when to cut off a part of yourself, to cut off and say, I'm not going to honor my ancestors, you're cutting off yourself.
Literally. And I was so charged by the fact that they would go to the plants, go to nature, go to the garden, and be able to elevate and connect with the ancient self, the ancient ones, the shining beings. Because that is the disconnect. And just going into nature, you mentioned air, fire, water, earth. If we don't connect to that, we don't connect to ourselves.
Exactly.
We are those elements. And our ancestors are us. You know, so when you're talking to your ancestors, you're talking to your most divine self. And you have that relationship of the elder to the youth, and you grow. How does a child grow up? They have to have a mother and father. How do they grow? They have to have someone who can show them how to walk, how to stand, how to be, how to think, how to process. So with that, I mean, my father passed 30 years ago, and I call his name out most every day. I was an entrepreneur. He was an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. And so he still guides me. So we need the knowledge that our elders had while they were in their bodies. And some of us have ancestors that have been here for the whole community. You know, then some of us are personal ancestors. So what we really gathered and what we needed in Black Panther, it was medicine. They gave us medicine. And it's so deep because people are saying, I'm going to go back with my mate. I'm going to go back with my children.
I've seen it 3 times.
And I'm about to see it today, okay, for the second time. So it's something that was missing. It's a very missing. And, you know, it's just everything. The women, royal, the women were warriors and soldiers for keeping the culture alive. And then the masculine and feminine principle, how we work together. So these are qualities that we need. The ancestors is what we need.
Yeah.
The masculine feminine principle, Asa and Asar, we need to be able to work together.
Sure.
We need to be able to work with those who are disagreeable, you know, and work with them. You know, we need to also embrace, we are the ones who were sent away, you know, 400 years of chattel slavery. So when we saw the trauma, what is his name? The trauma of our brother coming back and taking the throne.
Oh, what's his name?
Well, yeah. Well, he might be considered Set.
Yeah.
He might be
Njoku.
He was the warrior.
Yeah,
but he
Njoku.
came back. And so he came back. And so we have to process that. Because when we go to Africa, we do have those challenges now in terms of not being embraced.
Yes, and he
know?
wanted love. That's what he really wanted.
Yeah.
He wanted love and to be accepted. But he had the fantasy from his father being in Oakland and never actually coming forth. So he said, imagine a little boy like me running around believing in fairy tales. And he actually, when he got to see it, but it was the hurt and the hatred within his heart so much that he couldn't see past. And what he was saying, his points were right. We should be able to aid our people globally, but it's how you did it. And that's why the sisters with the throne, they were like, oh, you can't be king.
He was out of order.
Yeah, out of order. Exactly.
The ancestors
And yes,
would help us to put ourselves into order.
into order. Yes.
Now, you mentioned chattel slavery. A lot of people feel as though ancestor worship and, you know, Yoruba and all this stuff that we're into in voodoo, this is what got us in trouble in the first place. So this is the reason why they don't engage in ancestor worship, because what they think about is the transatlantic slave trade, and they're like, I don't ever want to go through that again. I don't understand why it happened, but I think it happened is because we was into these practices. So what would you say to those people that feel like that?
Well, we still need to have our base. Even though things went awry, we still have a base. And our base is our culture. So are we perfect in our marriages? Are we perfect in our communities? Are we in the 42 laws of Ma'at? Are we living in a state of balance, truth, and righteousness through all of the ages? Not so. But it's still that we need to breathe. It's still we need to eat foods, whole foods. It's still that we need to be able to see what is right and what is wrong. So we still need the culture, regardless. You still need to give acknowledgement to those who have gone before you, who have laid the way, who have shown you the way. So no, you don't say, I'm going to negate that because we went through a challenge. One of the things that I see is really what it was is divide and conquer. Even in Africa, it was divide and conquer. I remember when I went to Ghana and we went to they call the baths, the great baths. And on one side, you would go into this space and you would see the chiefs on one side. These are the ones who kept us together, the communities. And on the other side, you would see the chiefs that sold us away. And then you would go all the way down to the river, and this is where they would have, once you travel for days or weeks, and you had defecated and had your menstrual flow on yourself, you would take a bath. And then you would come, and then they would put butter on you and shine you and put you on the block. That was the divide and conquer. We were selling each other out. That was the divide. That was a kitchen. Willie Lynch magnified it. So I feel that all of it really primarily was my tribe and your tribe. And my clan over here and your clan over here. And that divide, the light skin, the dark skin, the straight hair, the kinky hair, the elders, the youth, that dividing force, my religion, your religion, the way that I drum, the way that you do, all of that is what we're still going through as a community.
Right.
That is the bottom line for me. That's the thing that destroyed us and can continue to destroy us unless we find the common ground. And I believe that this movie is an example
I was going to say that.
of the common ground. It's a union. It's even if you don't agree, you are coming to see it.
Exactly.
And you are saying there's something in here that's medicine for my soul, that is healing me. So no, we still need our culture, we need our healing, and so we need our unity.
And just to further extend off of what Queen has spoken, the ancient technology that we have, that's what that's our foundation. We have ancient technology where we can read the stars and we can, articulate certain things and the mysteries. So anything that has mystery and has this enigma around it already has this kind of like, ooh, spooked out. People are kind of weirded out by things that they truly don't understand. And so, to your question, Brother Rich, I feel as though it's a immaculate conception to feel like, oh, I'm going to shy away from these things. Transatlantic slavery happened because of the things that happened before with the divinities and people honoring and venerating our ancestors and certain things. But the truth of the matter is none of us were really there. And so to say that we're going to completely disconnect is very disheartening, to have that frequency rather than to even get a little bit of information that could potentially help you. All of these are ancient technologies, readings, astrology, Ifa, Akan, like all of these, the Kemetic practices, like all of that is to assist and aid us. It's the same wisdom that we've been talking about with our ancestors that literally came from Africa to the States. And so to deny yourself that, it's once again like cutting off your arm or cutting off a limb. And then now we're literally, this movie is helping us and other things that we're doing to remember, reattach ourselves to ourselves and to one another. That's the unity that you just were speaking about. So I don't judge anyone for what they, feel like they want to do. If that is something that you're spooked out about, just for me, to say that we're going to have a whole religion, and I'm not against anyone with Christianity, but what has Christianity really done for our community and for you, right? And I'm just putting that out there in terms of a question. And then we know that Christianity, what was before Christianity? And that's something that I think about all of the time. What was before, what was my ancestors practicing before the transatlantic slave trade? And the fact that there was a immediate force of indoctrination with this religion that many of our brothers and sisters cling to. And I understand because we need something to feed us. We need a spirituality to help us in our lives. However, the history of things. And so there's fact of, the Bible being pushed through slavery. And again, the Bible's a powerful book, and I don't want to go too deep, but it was pushed. We saw in that Turner movie, it was said and stated that there were certain scriptures that was used really to demonize our people and to keep us further subjugated to a place of subservient, lower level feeling and allowing ourselves to be engrossed with the idea of slavery rather than revolting. So for me, the idea of that is even more powerful than let me move away from my African tradition. That could be something that could be obviously helpful, because we already know that in this life, a lot of the things that we see is not really what it seems. The dollar, the currency, the gender, like all of these things, they have been manipulated now to make us move further away from our sacred self into a place of like anarchy and chaos. So.
Well, when we deal with ancestor worship, a lot of people talk about offerings, and that confuses a lot of people. When you say, I'm going to leave a plate of food out for, let's say, my grandmother who's deceased, or I'm going to leave some money on the counter for so-and-so who's deceased, or so-and-so like this cologne, so I'm going to leave this out. Because we're thinking from a very humanistic level, physical level, a lot of people can't understand this person can't really eat this food. So why, in this practice of ancestor worship, why would I leave a plate out for food out for a person who can't eat this food? Could you kind of explain what the use of offerings for people who are no longer on the physical plane?
Offerings are in so many ways. An offering is a prayer. An offering is a color. An offering is a song. An offering is when you put the food out, you are not giving them physical food. They don't need your physical food, but you're remembering them. And you remember that sweet potato that they love so well. And that actually, the offering charges the one who's giving. And it reminds you and allows you to reconnect to your roots, to your strength, to your power. So that sweet potato may be that link that kept you to your 7 generations back and keeping you 7 generations going forward. So it's a symbol of connectivity. That's what it is. And that is a form of spiritual technology, to make the offering, to remember, to reconnect, and to give thanks.
Sure. And if I could add on that, I feel like the offering, everything is a sacrifice. So the offering is sacrificing of yourself. and a respect to your ancestor. The offering, everything is a sacrifice, whether it's money, time, energy. So you're sacrificing what you have to say, I took this moment to honor and to remember you, literally. And so in doing so, as you said, Queen, you're getting the recharge as well. And it's, again, that reflective energy being transposed and ever flowing. So the offering, I mean, I sometimes I put out offering and my grandmother's like, what you doing? Let me just eat that piece. And I'm like, no, you can't. And she's like, I don't understand. So I try to explain in my best way what it means. But, you know, some of us don't understand and can't comprehend and refuse to comprehend. But it's not for everyone. And for those of us that know, it's up to us to once again do and to teach. So that offering is something that I always do, because as I eat, I know that this didn't happen just for me. That money that I received to make this food, my ancestors was guiding me to make sure, like, I have a plate of food. I cook that plate. When my grandmother, when her birthday passed, I know I cook a plate of fish and some rice and peas because that's her favorite meal. And it's just a respect and an honor and a remembering and a legacy. It's a tradition. And so this is our culture. We have many cultures running rampant out here. This is our culture. And so to do that is just reconnecting you back to the source.
It's reminding me of, I'm thinking right now about Baba Kwame Ishangi, who taught me how to give spiritual baths, and 30-some years ago. And he was an extraordinary dancer. He danced for the United Nations, bringing culture to our community in the 50s and 60s. And he would always sing this song. Whenever I sing the song now, and I sing it all the time, is Ishe Oluwa. And that is my offering to our ancestors, and I'm offering to him. Ishe Oluwa. Just use your hands. Ole Bajeo, Ishe Oluwa, Ole Bajeo, Ishe Oluwa. To our ancestors, Ole Bajeo, Ishe Oluwa, Ole Bajeo.
Man, that was beautiful. I want to end it just on that note, because that was nice. But let me just ask y'all one more question. I don't want to keep you ladies too long. Why do you think it seems as though if I'm a Christian and you're not a Christian, or I don't want to keep saying Christian, but if I have another belief system and you are into ancient African beliefs, for some reason we can't get along? What do you think is the common ground that could kind of, I don't know if unite is the right word, but at least we could have peace with one another? Common ground, like you said that word earlier, what's the common ground where I'm a Muslim or I'm a Christian and you don't believe in a God, you believe that you're God, or you believe in praying to your ancestors or whatever? How can we, have that common ground with each other? Because we always seem to be at war with one another.
Yes, well, that is the Willie Lynch. He's very, very successful. He came. There was a meeting, and in the meeting, the so-called slave owners, the thieves of us, they said, "How do we control these people? Because they're killing us. They're running away." He said, "Divide them." From the dark to the light, to the young to the elder, to the male to the female. Put fear in the woman while she's pregnant, and so much fear in her till she will suppress her child from ever fighting back and never overcoming. And so the religions have had us in a state of dividing. That's what it means to religions, to divide. And right now I'm being given an opportunity. I'm working within a church, working with Reverend Youngblood. And there are 60 men and women who are fasting and cleansing and detoxing.
Oh, wonderful.
And one of the things he says, I don't know about you, y'all may not understand why Queen Afua was here. Matter of fact, we talk about fasting, but she taught me how to fast. And her teaching me how to fast, now I can bring it to all of you. So he's helping them to open up to culture, to a way. And the foundation of our culture is also what we eat, what we're eating. If it's not from the garden, it's not our culture. But your fast food, junk food, processed food, that's not our culture. That's why we have diabetes and high blood pressure. So in that church, the common ground is their wellness. Because when they have the wellness, then if I say, let's pray to our elders, for them. Let's pray to our ancestors that we will remember great-grandmother and great-grandfather because they've been cleansing their bloodstream and they're fearless now.
Yes,
They're able to now say, thank you, grandfather Robinson. Thank you, grandmother Amy, for the help that you have done. So I have found that the deeper you going through a deep cleanse and come off of this chattel slavery, fast food, toxic lifestyle that has raped our bodies and our minds and our spirits, that we will claim our culture back because our culture is inherited. It's inherent and it's in us.
Yeah.
And as we detox and pull the plug from the corporate kitchens and the corporate fast foods and the corporate thoughts and attitudes, that we will find common ground. Because I believe in unifying all the spiritual houses. That's the beauty of Sacred Woman.
Yes.
Sacred Woman has done that.
Ashe.
And we
Yes, it
say,
has.
Sacred Woman, Hebrew Israelite, Ashe.
Ashe.
We say, Sacred Woman, Akan. Sacred Ashe. We say, Sacred Yoruba, Ashe. Sacred Woman, Buddhist.
Ashe.
Sacred Woman, Christian women, Ashe. We bring all the women together and we are able to pray in power and unity. And we're not threatened by one another, but they also know they have a root. And that root is from the first woman from the Nile Valley. And from her, that strong root, we learn how to be healers again and we begin to blossom. See, the Black Panther was very personal to Sacred Women. And we showed up. We showed out.
Yes, we did.
Because that's our culture. And we said, oh, that's us.
That's it.
That is us. This is not something that they are fabricating. That is who we are. And it's able to be, I love you as a scientist because you're able to bring the technology. And that's what that was. It says, can we bring the old and the new
Ashe.
and bring that together? Can we unify even on that level?
That's right.
And that woman was you in that room. And as that scientist. And the elder mother, that was me. Many of us. So that, and even this relationship now, to be able to, it's, you know, oftentimes the elders, they don't want to listen to the youth and they don't always respect the youth and their wisdom that they bring. And then oftentimes the youth say, well, I'm the one now, and you can just get back. You know, I'm the one. And that is how we keep breaking down. And so that coming together, we saw it in the movie, and we're seeing it here. And thank you for giving us the opportunity, sharing the wisdom of the elder and the wisdom of the youth. And may we have enough wisdom to stay connected to the Most High in all that we do, and stay connected to our ancestors and all that they have done, that we can continue to be a prosperous whole people.
Ashe.
Well, I know I said that was the last question, but I got one more question for you guys.
Sisters, not God.
Sisters,
that was
I'm
a
sorry.
male European man in the 1800s.
In terms of ancestor worship and calling on your ancestors for help or praying to your ancestors, some people feel as though, you know, this human, this role that we play down here, it's a movie role. So when we leave this body, we go to play another role. We go to do something else. So when we're calling on our ancestors, we're interrupting them, we're bothering them, where they're on to their next lifetime journey. And when you're calling on them, it's like, it's almost selfish in a sense, because you know the name that they was down here, they might not even be that name no more. They may have another name. So do you think ancestor worship in a sense can be selfish because our ancestors is busy doing something else on a whole nother dimension?
No, I'm a grandmother. And I love being a grandmother. And with my grandchild, I'm not on the ground crawling, and I'm not eating food all over my body. And they'll pull on my skirt and say, yay, help me. And if I'm a whole grandmother, I want to help them. Our ancestors are just like that. They want to help us. That's why we call on them. And they will guide us while helping everyone else. Because you know the mom in the house, doesn't she help everyone?
Yes, she does.
She helps the ones who are in the house, their friends who come to visit the house. You know, this is our way. This is our culture. Now, when we think on another level, when we think from a European mind, it's a bother. Why would they bother to help us? Why would they want to keep us strong? Why would they want to connect to us? Because they are us, and we are them. And when we stand up with inside of ourselves as whole beings, they are proud. And they said, this is what I have created. I write books because I know I'm preparing to be an ancestor. I know I'm not going to be here forever. I write the book so that when I leave here from my body, I can just say, read Heal Thyself. I've left it in chapter 2. Read Sacred Woman and Gateway of Ma'at or Tahuti, and you will know how to speak your life into existence. So no, our ancestors, they love us if we love them.
Yes.
And all ancestors are not the ones you call.
That's right.
Some of them did not do right in their life. And we don't call on them. But we call on the ones who showed us the way, who were high and upstanding, who lived a righteous life, who learned from their living. And we give thanks to our ancestors, our elders. It's called holistic. As above, so below, within and without. Our ancestors are part of us, and we walk with them. The Most High is inside of us, and we walk with the Most High. And our elders, and our youth, and our children, it's one tapestry of community. So our ancestors are part of our community. They could never forsake us.
That's right.
We love them.
We do.
Anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, I know that it's real and it's not a bother because they come and speak with me. They come and sit with me. They tell me that they're proud and they scold me when it's like, you ain't doing the right thing. And so, again, it's that grand transition, yes, but it's never a bother because, and then sometimes I have to think to myself, like, is this really what it is? But I know that we have that spiritual technology within us. So, yes, we can communicate. Yes, we are vessels where energies can come through, and so I am a vehicle where some of my ancestors have spoken to me through me as well. And so because of that, we know that this is not something that is a bother. It's something to help fuel, feed, and continue to liberate and connect us to our traditional greatness and to who we are. So I don't ever feel like it's a bother. In fact, they're like, you need to come every single day, and you better come every single day.
Ain't coming enough to us.
Yes, stuff end up missing. I'm like, okay, I thought I put my keys here, but they're like, yeah, you playing around. You need to come and sit down, humble yourself, and that's what it is. It's a humbling, knowing that yes, you're here on this plane, but there's more. It's more than you. It's more than us. It's not, and it's not about you only. It's about the whole tree, the roots, the stem, the leaves, all of it. It's the whole tree. And again, to not do that means to disconnect completely from yourself. And there might even be a disrespect, once again, that is felt because you're not honoring them by calling the name of the legacy that they left here. So
Deep. Well, I definitely enjoyed this conversation. I know it's something a lot of people need to hear. And leave your contact information and what you guys got going on so that people could contact y'all and follow y'all.
All right. We're getting ready to do our spring cleaning, our Sacred Woman Journey, Rites of Passage, March the 25th. You can check our website at www.sacredwoman.com. You can also check for those who want to do their 21-day detox, both women and men, www.sacredqueenafua.com. All right.
yes, and once again, I am a doula and also a womb specialist in terms of the pads and creating a space of womb wellness. So again, you can reach out to me via Facebook, Zakia Taliba Kafensi, and also in terms of dance classes, because I am a dancer, I offer that to the community, and it's actually a platform to help with healing through trauma. And it's also fun to get out of the subconscious mind, to get out of the conscious mind into the subconscious mind through movement. So my class is called Soul Sweat, as well as the Soul Sweat that we have as well with you. Soul Sweat, and it's on Tuesdays at 521 Halsey Street between Stuyvesant and Utica, and that's from 7 to 8:30. And you can send me an email if you want at icherishthewomb@gmail.com.
All right, family. And you also have the pads.
The pads, yes. There's so much that I do.
Yeah, you
so
also.
The cherished pads as well. As if you saw the previous video that I just did, once again, that website is www.getcherishedtoday.net.
Thanks for joining me. Once again, family, this is Underground Railroad. I got the Instagram family right here. That's why I'm here.
Okay.
That's the Instagram family.
Right.
So shout out to everybody tuning in on Instagram right now. But we about to sign out. I'm going to upload these videos as soon as I get a chance. We just wrapped up 2 dynamic videos today. Make sure y'all sign up to Patreon, show support, donate on PayPal. We're going to see you next time. Peace, family.
Peace.
Hey. Yeah. Yeah. Black magic. Hey. Panther. You ain't never seen a man turn leg gold with his hands. You ain't never seen a man get a queen wet with a glance. Water turn wine, whole wide world mine in my mind. In and out of time, my light shine bright for the blind. Something about the way I do it. 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 Said I'm gonna be a millionaire soon, but I already knew it. I'ma that the bullets fluid. All this winning therapeutic. Something about the way I do it. Something about the way I do it. They be trying to drain my energy up with the battery, it's not included. Women trying to be recruited. Let them do it, then I bought it. What is cute, think she falling. Something about the way I do it. I remember playing ring around the rosy. Now I got a pocket full of OZs. Water dollars, wallet full of old cheese. Got a Glock, a cock and pop a police. Block a boom, shaka laka, bada shot him while he rock a rosary. Got your mama watching out the nosebleed. Sloppy toppy.